Alright guys, I am at my boat. I left it here for a couple days and the wind just wasn't good to hunt this spot. So the river's a lot higher, which is gonna work out in our favor. One thing I wanna say, going across this river I've been across 100 times. Most of the time it's deep enough to wade across. Probably is right now, but you're gonna wear a life jacket. Just slow down. Don't let yourself get yourself in trouble. You know, it doesn't hurt to put on a life jacket. You know, you're gonna save your mom's feelings, you're gonna save your girlfriend's feelings or your wife's or whoever it may be, but you know, there's no glory in being a tough guy that drowns in a river. So, you know, handle all your safety precautions and don't become a statistic. That being said, we got that out of the way. Passed a fresh bed coming in, passed another guy about 3/4 of a mile back. You know, it is what it is. I apologize, but I think this wind was coming out of the south at daylight and then it was gonna make a shift to west, and I'm not gonna be sitting in my stand while it makes that swing around. So I waited until the winds kind of steadied out, day winds picked up, and now we're gonna hop across that river and go try to kill one. Saw 2 bucks in the fields at daylight coming in this morning, so driving in. So it is pretty much that time. It is October 21st and we're gonna be sitting all day. I'm gonna have the GoPro on. So as I'm going down this river, there's these little berms that run up and down the river, and these deer like to sit up on top of those berms. Now with the west wind where I'm positioned, that would actually be blowing down the river, but that's where they feel safe. They don't really get jacketed too much in here because you gotta cross the river and all this other mess to get to them. Like, it's not something a lot of deer hunters are gonna do. But hopefully I can get some on the GoPro, and yeah, I'm gonna sit here. I got a little hot walking in to cool down a little bit. I'm gonna kick this boat in the ditch and we're gonna get one. We're gonna make Boone and Crockett today. Might make Boone and Crockett sitting right here. Passed 2 scrapes, couple rubs, fresh bed. The rubs were low to the ground. You know, looks like a young buck, but I think big boy's across the river, so that's where we go. Well, that might screw us up. I don't know what he's eating either. So it's starting to rain a little bit. Had that dirty rotten coyote here this morning eating a doe over there. I just went up there and looked at what it was, making sure it wasn't some giant buck. But so I think I'm gonna make a move. It's 11:17, so I probably sat here 2 hours, but with that coyote running around, I don't like it. I don't like his smell being everywhere. I tried to wait and kill him, but he got within 70 yards, but he was moving, and they're hard as heck to kill, especially with a bow. But when I lived in Alaska, when we were hunting black-tailed deer up there, when the wolves would move in, you know, later in the winter, later in the season, we'd always kind of start getting close to town or getting close to like a cabin or something like that, because it'd kind of keep them wolves at bay. So I'm gonna try to get up here. There's some ag up here on some CRP that's public that kind of goes into some ag, so I'm gonna work this riverbank into the wind and see what I see, try to find some good sign, try to get set up over something pretty decent. You know, who knows, might bump and dump today. So I'm gonna finish getting this stand packed up and head on out of here.
It's been a long week of hunting. I've put a lot of miles on the tread of my boots, early mornings, cold sits, long walks back in the dark. That's what this time of year demands. I've seen a couple shooter bucks in daylight, just enough to keep that fire burning. One of them slipped in within 10 yards of me. 10 yards, and I didn't even see him till it was too late. I moved, spooked him, and he vanished like smoke in the timber. Moments like that stick with you. They test your patience, your focus, and your will to keep grinding. But that's hunting. It's not about punching a tag every time you head into the woods. It's about the process, the discipline, the heartbreak, and the hope that lives in every sunrise. I didn't tag a buck this week. But today feels different. It's October 25th. The woods are changing. The mornings have that sharp bite in the air. The first does are starting to come in, and you can feel the energy shifting. I'm heading to meet Jerry this morning, one of my good friends, and we're finally going into our number one spot, the Land of Giants. This is the place we've held back all season, the spot you save for the right time, the right conditions, and the right feeling in your gut. This is our Super Bowl. It's that mix of nerves and excitement. You replay every decision in your mind, your win, your entry, your setup. You know that one mistake can cost you everything, but one perfect moment can change your entire season. That's the beauty of it. Every mile, every empty sit, every close call, it all leads to mornings like this. So here we go. No promises, no guarantees. Just me, Jerry, and the unknown waiting in the Land of Giants. If there's ever a time for something special to happen, it's now. Late October, cold air, calm mind. Boots on the ground, bow in hand. Let's see what the woods have to say.